We've been waiting a super long time for this. So this is the brand new TLR, Team Low C Racing 22X. Their two-wheel drive 10 scale race buggy. The last TLR 22 came out like, I don't know, 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. So it's been like 6-7 years since they've actually released a brand new 10th scale, and it's pretty cool that they actually have it. So everyone thought they were discontinuing the TLR 10 scale line. They have not. They are coming back this year really strong. So they do make two versions, the Astro Carpet version, which is the AC. They also make a dirt version, which is the DC. Starts for $429.99 here at the time of this video. I'll have a link in the description below where you can pick one of these up. Obviously made by Horizon Hobby. Bob links to A-Main, all that good stuff. So yeah, nice little pictures of what it looks like. Did redesign the slipper. I think it's kind of the pass-through bolt like as before. Brand new diff cases. Here's what the rear end looks like. Front wing, of course. New shocks, I believe. We'll have to take a look at that. Here's with the rear end, quick access diffs. New kingpin inclination, sort of offset. There's a different version for the carpet as well as the dirt version, so they are slightly different. But yeah, let's kind of take a look at what comes in the box. Here's the information required to complete. Made in Taiwan. So yes, these are higher end vehicles, not made in China like most of the Horizon products, but made in Taiwan. So maybe the tariffs are a little bit different for this, but yeah, $430 I think is pretty reasonable at the time of today's pricing and stuff like that, especially with stuff coming out of China being a lot more expensive. So nice, super premium pre-cut body. As you can see, you don't have to cut that. Really nice. Big fan of that. Looks like we got maybe the battery straps, so I think these are a little bit different. They do have the rubber bands as before. Not many parts are going to carry over from the past, so these are the rear arms, I believe. Rear blocks, I believe, are the same. Looks like a waterfall as well. The adjustable length CVA, so they do have a couple different positions on the axles for different lengths. Looks like some sway bars as well. Here's the side rails, little thread locker. Looks like the front arms as well. Looks like even, not really sure what this is, some nice little aluminum pieces. Front hinge pins. Yeah, so we're just going to go through this really quick. Turnbuckles. I think they did redesign the ball cups, so they look a little bit thicker. Grease, diff oils. So the Astro Carpet version does come with a gear diff. The dirt version comes with the ball diff. Looks like some shock fluids. Here's the springs. I believe they're 13mm bore now. Here's the front sway bar, linkages. Here's the chassis. So very nice chassis. Two different chassis for the carpet as well as the dirt. So the carpet has a +3. I think the dirt is like the +0. Some additional tuning parts, different shock cups, different diff height inserts. So you can raise and lower the diff, as you would expect from a modern race buggy. Here's the new diff cases, completely redesigned, carbon fiber shock towers, the idler or the top shaft, spur gear, and then here's the wing, pre-cut, super nice, some tools. Yeah, so all together, really nice looking car, brand new stickers, masking tape for your windows on your body. In terms of what I'm going to run in the car, so I've got my electronics all picked out. So this is a nice Savax 2267 SG, a super premium shorty servo, low profile. So very nice specs as well. It looks like you got 0.08 seconds at 7.4 volts, all the way down to 0.065 on 8.4. 347 inches of torque up to 444. So this is a nice premium brushless, motored servo. So that's really nice. Excited to try that out. Running standard just stock XR10 ESC. So I am running 17.5. So I do have my Team Powers Actinium V4.0 servo as well as my Sanwa receiver. So those are electronics I'm going to run. And then also, of course, my Gen 8 Redline 2.0 6000 milliamp hour battery. So I don't know what the weight of this thing is going to be if I'm going to run this or a low profile battery, but I do try to run the larger capacity because I think you get a little bit more punch and a longer extended runtime for racing. So yeah, this is going to be a race kit, Astro carpet version as well, of course, because my local track is carpet. And next thing we do is throw this thing together and see what it looks like. And we're done. It took about 4 to 5 hours to assemble it. As you can see here, it's pretty much everything except the electronics, and I got to paint the body and put it on the wing, but mechanically it's pretty much all set and ready to go. First off, the build was awesome. Pretty much flawless, I would say. No issues whatsoever. I do have a few tips, but I'll go over some of the stuff that I really liked about this kit. The first thing probably that I've never seen in a kit before is an alloy servo horn. So 25 tooth, which will fit all the more recent Spectrum servos. That's pretty much industry standard. Really nice that they include that because that was pretty much a must-have option part in the past. Other things I liked is that there are alloy basically inserts in the front camber block with a nut underneath. I can't remember if the 5.0 had that, maybe, but that's a really nice piece to add durability and not have to have like a full alloy front camber block, but get all that nice durability. The turnbuckles, rod ends all feel super free, so this is a really nice kit. No issues with like any sort of binding or anything like that. The front arms maybe a hair binding. You could sand them down if you want, but it didn't seem bad to me, so I just kind of left it. Rear arms were like super free, shocks, everything feels really nice. So the kit, plastics, alloys, all the metal parts seem super premium. They said they changed vendors and quality does seem to be improved from the past. Also, you got these machined shock standoffs now. So basically up top, you can see these really nice pieces, all four corners. They also have these new inserts for the bottom shock mounts that are kind of a set screw piece, but you just screw them in all the way, and that's basically an improvement over the past where they just used to have a long set screw, but you had to kind of measure it, make sure you weren't putting it in too far. And then you also get two spur gears, so you get a 72 tooth and a 76 tooth, so this is going to be appropriate for both mod and stock. So yeah, whatever motor you got, you've got the spur gear included in the box. Again, that's not very common for a kit, and really nice little add-on that they have. Now in terms of suggestions I have, first off, you will need a 0.05 inch hex driver. Wouldn't be a TLR without using one of these. I forget exactly where I used it. I think it was in the basically the shock screws that hold the pistons in place, but you'll definitely need that. Another tip on the build here on step E2, you will want to make sure you put the insert into that spindle before you put in the top screws here. So the top screws actually go through this insert and hold it in place. So that's something I got backwards, but make sure you put that insert in before the screws. Another thing is that you will want to use a little bit of black grease on any screws that seem hard to thread into the plastic. So a lot of the composites, a lot of plastics on this thing are very stiff, very tough, very strong, and you do have a few screws like kind of here on the back of this C-hub or whatever you call it. Basically there's a standoff there, it uses 2.5 millimeter screws. This C-hub is very stiff, so I would put a little black grease on the screws just to make sure they thread in a little bit more nicely. Also notice that on these rear shock standoffs, so that little screw that you thread it into the arm, put a little black grease on that to make it a little bit easier to go in. Just anywhere you find that you're using, especially like small screws, and you're threading into like pretty stiff plastics, that will help it go in. I also noticed that on the bell cranks, so the bell cranks are very stiff. Basically the ball studs and stuff that I threaded were pretty hard to put in. Yeah, but not a bad idea to put a little black grease on that. Conversely, if you're doing anything metal to metal, so like basically these screws that go into the rear hub standoffs, the ball studs that go into the rear camber block, anything like that where you're using metal into metal, I would recommend putting a little Loctite on there. I even put a little Loctite on these little set screws here on the sway bars, so that is not said to be done in the manual, but I definitely like doing that on all the metal to metal parts just to make sure they do not back out. And last suggestion is that when you're putting on the front pivot block, there's a little shim for 20 degrees, 25 degrees, whatever. You just want to make sure it points to the front. Kind of obvious, but in case you weren't sure which way to direct that, make sure it goes to the front and you should be good. On the C and D blocks, there are little inserts that you will need to match to the manual. You just basically follow the same thing. So when you're looking at the block, when you see the letter, that's basically the orientation of those pills. So you just match it up to the manual, and I think you should be good to go. So yeah, this build was really, really nice. I just got to put in the electronics and take this thing out for its first run, but a really great little kit. No issues, no missing parts, nothing I had to file down or sand or shim or whatever. Everything seemed perfect out of the box, and I think this was one of the best builds I've ever had. So yeah, anyways, I will definitely be taking this track soon. Look for that video soon. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching.